Hi everyone. Uh, in this session, we will cover what is Java component and Java. So tJava component is in Talend, it supports us to execute all the Java code, and we can allocate values to a context variable as well. And the main difference between tJava and tJavaRow is in tJava, it cannot accept input values from the another component. It support us to execute Java code, but it doesn't support us to pass the values from the other component. Whereas tJavaRow, we can pass values from one component as an input to tJavaRow, and you can apply some Java functionality here, and those values you can pass as a output row to next component. So based on the requirement, we can utilize either tJava, tJavaRow. Let us see step by step how it can be utilized in Talend. For example, I want to cross check a number is a palindrome or not. So we can use that as a Java code. We can write a sample Java code which checks whether a number is palindrome or not. For example, here if you see, I have a Java code here where I declared integer 3 variables as an integer, and I allocated a value to n. A variable called n, I'm declaring it as integer, and I want to cross check whether this is a palindrome or not. So what does palindrome? Palindrome in the sense from the left to right or right to left. If you see, the value should look equal. For example, here 1 to 3, 3 to 1. If you read from the left to right or right to left, both are same. This is called a palindrome. But if you see this 4, 5, 6, from left to right, if you are reading, then it is 4, 5, 6. From the right side, if you are reading, it is 6, 5, 4. Both are not equal. So this is not a palindrome number. So to cross check whether a value is palindrome or not, in Java, we can write this code. For example, right now I allocated 4, 5, 6 to a variable called n, and that variable I'm assigning to temp. And here I have 3 letters. So I have written a loop statement which runs 3 times based on how many letters you have. So first it is fetching the first letter 4. This one is used for fetching the last letter. In 4, 5, 6, first I need to fetch the last letter. So I want to reverse it. For that purpose, I need to fetch the last letter. And the function and the n percentage 10, always it will provide as a reminder. So when you do divide 45 divided by 10, the remainder will be always 6. So the last letter it will allow us to fetch, and I'm allocating that last letter to integer r. So 6 is allocated to r. Then I'm adding this. I'm concatenating this 6 to sum. I'm allocating whatever the value, the first letter I have, last letter I fetched, I'm allocating to variable called sum. Now, from this 4, 5, 6, I fetched the last letter. Now I need last but one. So for that purpose, first, I already fetched the 6, so I'm removing for this. To remove this, I'm using n equal to n divided by 10, which will remove the last letter and consider the first two. Now I have 2, 4, 5. In this 4, 5, I need to fetch 5. So here again, it will do n percentage 10, which is nothing but 45 percentage 10. The 5 will be extracted. Already in the sum, I allocated previous 6. Now I got 5 in R. That 5, what I'm doing, I'm adding to 6, which is nothing but concatenation. So I'm doing 6 plus 5, which is concatenation, which will become, 6 into 10. I'm adding 6 into 10, which will become 60. And I'm adding value 5 here, 65. The previous value, whatever the value available in sum, I'm multiplying with the 10, so that earlier I have 6. that I'm multiplying with 10, which will become 60. And right now I fetched 5, 60 plus 5 is 65. Now sum is having a value called 65. And from this 45, I need only 4. Why? Because already 5 and 6 I fetched. So I need to remove 5. So I need to divide n divided by 10. N divided by 10. Then what I am doing, the remainder will be 4. And this n percentage and what it will do, it will fetch this last letter, which is only 4. Now I have 65, and this 65 sum equal to sum into 10. That means 65 into 10. 650 plus 4, 654. Why? Because here I have done plus r. In this r, we always get the last letter, which is called remainder, 654. So now 456 is our value, and in the reverse, I got 654. Is that clear? And right now, n doesn't have any value. So if n is greater than 0, then only it runs. Why? Because always from the letter from right side, I'm reviewing by using n equal to n divided by 10. So when I have 4 and when I execute n divided by 10, the remainder will become, the value will become 0. That means 4 divided by 10 is 0 and n will have a value as 0. And while n greater than 0, this condition is failed, it will come out of the loop. And earlier we allocated the value 456 to temp. And now n is having a value called, sum is having a value called 654. So 456, 654, both are equal, then it will return palindrome, else it will return not a palindrome number. So this is a Java code, a basic Java. The people who doesn't know Java, please try to understand. The people who knows Java, I guess it is easy for them. I can execute this in tJava component. So how can I write this? So I click create a job. That's for Java components. In the designer, if you know the component, you can directly pull which whatever the components which are recently used, it will be there. And if you don't know, like example, if you know already the name of the component, if you don't know, then you can pull it from palette. But you know the component name, then you can write directly T and J. Automatically, it will show all the list of the components which are starting with J. I can use this one, tJava. tJava purpose is to write the code. So here you can see context is for adding a variables and component is the one where you can add all the properties. For tJava, it is you can write the code here. So I copied this code and I'm pasting it here and saving this. Run this. If there is an error in this code, definitely it throws error. So 456 is not a palindrome number. But what is the number we considered? I want to display, then display that number also. Basically, display this n. So here, what I will do, I will write here system out dot print ln. Let me display n also here. So in the place of 456 right now, let us consider 45654. So from the last left to right or right to left, if you read, both number looking same. So now what value it will display? Four, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4 is the value we considered, and it is a palindrome. Let us test this. I'm adding 1, so which is not a palindrome now. Why? Because from the left side, if you read, it is 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 1. From the right side, if you are reading, it becoming 1, 4, so which is not equal. So this tJava component will help us to execute the Java code here. not a palindrome. So you can write anything, anything. It's a basic example I have written, which is a Java, which I know I have written. But if you know any complicated code, you can write and you can test it. And so here, in the place of this, I'm creating a string, a variable, and the variable name I'm providing it as full name. Okay. And full name, I'm allocating a value. I'm allocating a value as data analytics. So this is a value. This is a value. So I'm allocated. I considered a variable called full name, and full name I added a value, and I want to display this value. System.out.println, and I'm displaying this. I'm displaying this. So here my requirement is I want to convert this data analytics to lowercase. How can I do? You have a Java function which converts to lowercase. If you click on that, automatically it will show all the list of the string handling functions which are supported in Java. You can see. So for lowercase, you can use, if you know the name, then you can directly write to see here, lowercase. So the capture letter word will be converted into lowercase. That analytics. But here, instead of converting everything to lowercase, I want to convert init cap. But straightforward, we don't have anything called init cap, which converts first letter as capital and rest of as lowercase. Instead, this can be achieved in two ways. What we will do first, let us convert everything to uppercase. Why? Because the input value, sometimes it may be mixed also. So we don't know. We don't know. So the value, whichever input it may be capital or small, we don't know. So what I'm doing first, I'm converting every to capital. So I can use, you can create one more. You can allocate full name equal to full name dot to uppercase. So everything, whatever available here, I'm converting to uppercase because the input value may be upper, lower, we don't know, but I want to convert to init cap. So if I want to convert to init cap, there are multiple ways, but we don't have any straightforward, I guess in Java, we don't have anything to convert init cap directly. But this is one of the way I have found. The first letter, we can separate it out. And from the second onwards, if we separate, and we can convert that to lowercase. So before that, I'm converting everything to uppercase. Okay. Then I'm using a data type string. I'm declaring one more variable, first letter. And I will write it as FL equal to from this full name, I want only first letter. I want only the first letter. Then you can write substring. I can use substring. 0 indicates it is from starting. And I did not provide how many letters I wanted. Then it will extract complete name. Let us see. Substring I have written 0, but I did not restrict it to one letter. So it will extract complete name. See here. So input was first letter is lowercase, but rest of the letters I have written some mixed. I have written So first I'm converting everything to capital, but here my goal is to get only first letter. So write it as 0, 1. 0 indicates it is from starting position and 1 indicates it is the length. So now you will get only the first letter. And I'm creating one more variable to get rest of the letters. Can copy this and paste it. So instead of 0, I want to retrieve the data from first letter. So in data analytics, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. So from first onwards, I want to get rest of the data. So what we have to do, just don't specify any length. From the first onwards, that means everything will start from 0. After leaving 0, from first onwards, I will get complete data. So that I want to call it as RL, remaining letters. And just whether this RL is working or not, let us see. You can display and you can check that. So after leaving the first letter, the rest of the letters. Now I want to convert this to lowercase. RL equal to RL dot to lowercase. So which will convert everything to lowercase. After converting, I want to allocate to it full name. FL dot concatenate. So I want to concatenate FL to RL. So FL dot, you have to use concatenate is our and RL is our another variable. So I'm concatenating FL to RL, and that I'm allocating to full name. Even though you have allocated data analytics, this value will be replaced with value whatever available in these two variables. Now I'm calling this full name, so which will be converted to init tab. Data. But this Java cannot accept any values from the previous component as an input. For example, you have a table, okay? And for example, here, go to metadata and pull a table. Go to metadata and pull a table. I'm pulling EMP. Okay. And I want to pass these rows to this Java. It will. But it will execute only once. There is no chance of adding the schema here. There is no scope of adding the schema here. It extracted EMP data, but there is no meaning. Why? Because there is no scope of adding this previous schema to this component. Every component you will have a schema. If you see here, you can see this is a schema, which indicates what are the columns available. These are the list of the columns available in this EMP table, but all these columns you are just adding here, but those columns are not getting utilized here. Why? Because those are here we don't have an option of adding the schema. And this is one of the example where you can utilize the Java component. And one more is I'm taking a tLogRow, and I'm adding here row main. Now you say click on log, automatically you will get the edit schema, all the columns available in EMP side you will get in tLogRow. The same thing did not happen in tJava because tJava doesn't accept any schema. It always executes the Java code, or it can be utilized for allocating some static values to the context variable. For example, here you can see, I want to deactivate this. So here I have a EMP table which loads the data into tLogRow. I want to display it as a table. Run this once and test whether it is working once. Yes, it's working. Here I have all the values of the database connection are declared as manually as a static values these are, but I want to utilize variables here in the place of this. So I'm adding variables now. I'm adding variables in the context tab. We can add the variables. I'm adding local host. And if you don't know what is meant by variables, there is one more previous video which is called Talend context variables. You can watch that video, then you will get a clear idea what exactly the variable purpose. So here I'm adding variables to avoid allocation of the values manually. Username, password, port, and service name. So here I have 5 variables I declared, and to test it, first let us write one variable in the place of host name. Change to built-in, then only it will allow us to edit. So now in the place of local host, I'm using context dot host name. So what is our variable for host name? Sorry, this host name I want to write it as host name. Yeah. Okay. So the variable name is host name. Username is in the place of BA sample. I'm using context dot username. Now if you run it throws error, why? Because this variable doesn't have the values. The username, local host name, we did not allocate any values. Those variables are empty right now. So it will not be able to establish a connection. It will throw error, invalid username password because the password is wrong. So here these variable values, either you can allocate manually here or you can allocate using a Java. Context dot host name equal to local host. You need to end everything with semicolon. And one more is context dot username equal to BA sample. And one more variable is context. Always use the lowercase context dot and port. Yes, equal to 1521. Always allocate the values using double quotes. Otherwise, this will not be considered as a value. Instead, it will consider as a variable and it throws error. And one more is context dot service name, which has a value called tJavaRow. So total 4 variables: username, password. Yeah, password is missing. Context dot. So you can see automatically when you type, it has to show. There is no password with the capture letter. So let us write in small letter. Just check whether we added the password. Yes, we added having. So let us add that PASSC. It will show. Then this is VA sample. Run this. It should throw error. The reason is this is disabled. We have to enable it. And when you run this, both will start parallel. Both will start at the same time. But this one has to start after completion of tJava because the values are getting allocated in tJava. If you both start at the same time, then there is a chance of error. That was the reason you have to select trigger on subjob okay or component. Basically, it is a single component, so you can select component okay. But when you have group of components together, always go for subjob okay. Right now, I'm selecting component okay because it is having only a single component. And the tJava purpose is we are using allocating values to the context variable, and those context variables are utilized here. And I'm running this. Semicolon is missed. Semicolon is missed here. Yes. Run this. So this is the way you can utilize tJava component, passing the values to the context variable, executing a Java code. If you have, this is the one. And it allows us to execute system routines as well. It allows us to execute system routines. What is system routines? Let us see that. Let me disable this. Let me disable this set. Let me disable this, right click this, deactivate current subjob. Yeah, I'm deactivated this. So here, routine subjobs are nothing but default functions which we have. System routines, basically system routines we call, which is nothing but default functions. Example here, these are the system routines. To convert to uppercase or to convert to lowercase, to get only first three letters, R comes under string handling. Mathematical comes under mathematic. So these are the system routines which are available by default. In this string handling, you have only hardly 5 to 6. If you want, you can read the different string handling, whatever we have. Example, we have a function to convert, you can see all substring that match the regular expression. And here you have to convert, evaluate the number of times substring is repeated. And convert all letters to uppercase to lowercase or lowercase to uppercase, you can see. This is the code it has utilized. If it is a null, it will return null, else it will convert to uppercase. You are seeing this, right? So all these are system routines. For example, here, to convert everything to uppercase, this is the name of the function, name of the routine, system routine, uppercase. And it is available under string handling. So the syntax will be string handling dot uppercase. The same way you have one more is left, which will return number of letters. For example, here if you see, left always specifies a substring consisting of first n characters. So left will allow us to retrieve n number of characters. In previous example, we have seen to get the first letter, what we have used substring. But instead, we can utilize the default function which is available called left. This is called routine, which are available by default under string handling. So that also we can see. For example, I'm declaring a string and a full name. Okay, I'm allocating a value as data, ANALYTICS, data analytics. And I want to retrieve first 4 letters from this. You can use substring, which is a Java function, Java code by using a Java related, or default string handling routines which are available. You can call that also. So how to call that? Full name dot string handling. You can call it as string handling dot left. And you can call here full name equal to string handling dot left, and here I'm passing my full name to this, and I'm displaying this system dot out dot print ln. And here I pass the variable and I did not display how many I wanted. I wanted 3. I wanted retrieve 3, print ln, and full name. So here the left is the default routine which is available in string handling. You can see all the string handling, you can search here and you can see. So left always accepts two. One is string as an input and one is integer, which is nothing but how many letters you want to retrieve. Okay. And so here the 2 parameters I passed. the input is a string which has a value called data analytics, and I wanted to retrieve 3 letters. I passed 2 parameters, and I'm allocating to it to the same full name variable again. So I'm displaying this. Even though here I have data analytics as a word inside the full name, but right now we are retrieving the first 3 letters and I'm allocating to the same variable. Now if you display here, you will get the first 3 letters. So these are called the system routines, and you can define your own custom routines as well. And you can call them. See here, first 3 letters. So it will allow us to call the system routines or user-defined custom routines, and it will allow us to call the Java code. It will allow us to pass the values to a context variable. These are the different advantages we can. These are the different purpose where we can utilize the Java component. But the only disadvantage is it cannot accept input values. So instead, whenever you want to pass the values from one component to tJava and apply some code, instead of using tJava, here we will utilize tJavaRow. Here we will utilize tJavaRow. Let me deactivate this. So here, for example, let me activate it. No. So let me do one thing. Pull the EMP table one more time. Pull the EMP table one more time. Why? Because here it has a variables. Or else you can activate. You can activate the subjob. Activate, okay. And here we have context. In the place of context, I can write localhost, and I can write BS sample. Or else you can activate it, and you can pass the values one more time to the context dot hostname equal to localhost, and the context dot username equal to BA sample, and context dot password equal to BXS. Same username password is same, and context dot port is 1521, and the context dot one more is service name. I am calling it as DWHPRO. Okay, and let me utilize context dot hostname, and in the place of port we can call it as context dot port, and the service name context dot service name, and username, and here in the place of this let me call context dot password. So copy this, make sure that semicolon is provided, and run this now. Just for testing, I want to cross check. Allocated all the values properly. See something. Password spelling is wrong. And here let's go and correct the password spelling. Yeah. Run this. So in the earlier example, we have seen how to convert to init cap, right? Okay, how to convert to init cap we have seen. Okay, how to convert to a init cap if it is a custom value. But here you can say I want to convert Smith to init cap, Allen to init cap, which is nothing but the values which are available in this component I need to pass to tJava, but tJava doesn't support to pass the values as an input. So instead I have tJava component. So tJavaRow, I have tJavaRow. tJavaRow can accept input values from a previous component, and it can pass the values to tLagaRow, which is next component. So it can accept input and it can pass output. which is called input row, output row, the syntax here. So here, how to convert to init cap? The same example we can see. Whatever the values available in EMP, example in EMP I have, let's write select the star from EMP. Let's write select the star from EMP. So whatever the values which is called ename Smith, I want to convert to init cap. So what we have to do, right click here, main, then click on this tJava. Click on component and edit the schema and see. I have all the input rows, but I don't have the output rows here yet. If you see, I don't have the output rows yet, but if you link this to tLogRow, if the tLogRow are having the schema values, then it will be allocated in tJavaRow also. You need not to add manually. Why? Because in tLogRow, initially I linked the EMP to tLogRow directly. At that time, I got all this schema. So now when I link the tJavaRow to tLogRow, whatever the schema available in tLogRow, it will come as an output in tJavaRow. So now I have input and output. But what happens, you see? I have input, I have an output, but all are empty. The reason is these input values, I did not pass it to output. Just it has created the schema. But whatever the value available in this input, I need to pass to this output. Then only the value will be stored in the output schema. Otherwise, this output schema will be always empty. But these values, how to allocate that? There is a syntax for that. Example. Output underscore row equal to, what is the column name? Employee number equal to input underscore row dot employee number. So right now I have a column which is called employee number. So the output employee number, I am passing the values which are available inside input row dot emp number. So how many rows it has, those many times it will pass the value, and that value will be passed to tLogRow. So I have utilized right now only one column I have passed as a value. So only one column it needs to get the data, and rest of the columns it should be still empty. See, for employee number I got the data right now. So here in the tJava, the input output schema, after creating that, the each and every input value you need to pass to output value. So here the first one is employee number. The second column is ename. So ename I need to pass right now. Output underscore row is the syntax dot ename. But ename I want to convert to init cap. In string handling, we don't have init cap. If you want, you can see there is no init cap. There is no init cap. But you have lowercase. You have lower. You have upper. But you don't have init cap. So the previous example, what we have written, the same thing we can write it here. Okay. So first, I will declare a variable string, and I'm calling it as full name, which is called employee name. In this employee name, first let me convert everything to capital letter. First, everything into lowercase. First, let's get the first letter. First, I need to get the first letter. So what I will do, first letter I want to get, first letter. Then string handling dot, I have left function to get the first letter. And here I need to pass input. input underscore row dot email. And I need to get only first letter. I need to get only first letter. Yes. Okay. Then that first letter is already in uppercase. Or else if you want to, if you are not confident that first letter may be upper or lower, so let us convert everything to upper if you want. Convert everything to upper first. So what we have to do, I'm allocating everything to string full name I'm allocating, which is called input row dot ename. But I want to convert everything to uppercase because we don't know whether the input may be upper or lower. So first I want to convert everything to upper. String handling dot upper. So full name, I allocated a value whichever available in ename by converting to uppercase. Now this full name I can utilize as a parameter instead of ename. Why? Because full name has a value whatever available in ename in uppercase. I used for that this one. Now I'm extracting first letter using FL. Then FL is always a capital right now because prior itself I converted. Now I wanted rest of the letters. And here I can utilize substring. I can utilize substring full name dot. I can utilize normal also now. So I'm using mixed. One is system defined routines, and the one is Java related. Both I'm using here if you see. So it also supports the Java code. So substring. So here I wanted the data from first letter to at the end. So rest of the letters, I'm fetching whatever available in a full name, but I'm leaving the first letter and I wanted rest of the letters. And I want to convert this to lowercase. RL equal to RL dot to lowercase. So everything is converted to lowercase now. Now I'm allocating output underscore row dot ename equal to RL. Okay, so here directly allocated input row to output row, but here I'm using converting. I'm created a temporary variables, and for these variables, whatever the input row I allocated, and I converted to uppercase. Then I extracted first letter. Then I extracted except the first rest of the letters, and rest of the letters I converted to lowercase. And I need to convert now. I need to concatenate now. Now full name need to have the value as first letter. I want to concatenate now. I want to concatenate to rest of the letters. Why? Because first letter and rest of the letters has to be concatenated back, and that I am allocating to full name, and that full name I'm allocating to output row ename. So that means now this concatenation and whatever the functionality, Java functionality or whatever the functionality we have written here, everything will be executed and the final input will be allocated to ename, which will be passed to the next component. Now you see it should display the data inside ename column. So yeah. So here if you want to reduce the schema, if I want to reduce the schema, I don't want all these columns. I want only employee number, ename, job I don't want, and MGR I don't, manager I don't want, high date I wanted, salary I wanted, department number I don't want. You can click. Then click on tLog row. And if you see, there are only 5 columns right now. So now what are the columns you are having? Ename is finished, hide date, output underscore row dot hide date equal to input underscore row dot hide date. And next is salary and commission. Output underscore row dot salary equal to input underscore row dot salary. And output underscore row dot commission equal to input underscore row dot COM. So we passed all the values to this output row. Hide date, salary, commission. Now, if you see, it has to display the data for 5 columns, which are considered in output. We cannot be resolved. Input, spelling is wrong. I have written input spelling wrong somewhere. Input row here, yeah. It's small. Okay. And these are considered as a big decimal. That was the reason you are getting decimals. And I want to cross check if a value available in commission, I want to consider that employee as salesperson. So I want to add a column called salesperson. And if there is a value in the commission, then I want to consider for them as yes. For remaining people, I want to consider as no. Okay. So here, whatever the value coming as an input to the commission, if it is having a value, then those are salespeople. So I want to add a column called salesperson flag. I want to add a column called salesperson flag. Salesperson flag, which will have values as yes or no based on the values available in commission. Salesperson, SKLESP, salesperson flag. Okay, this is the column. Now here, how to allocate yes or no based on whatever the value available. Based on whatever the value available in. Based on whatever the value available in. Based on whatever the value available inside commission. So if the commission having a value, then we need to consider if the commission is having a value, then I want to consider it as salesperson. So if input